The 3 most important things to define in your personal branding. When developing a personal brand, there are so many things to consider. Not all of these things are created equal, however. Often, the different elements of branding strategies supplement each other, and should one area be lacking, it will have a negative impact on the whole brand and its resulting level of success. Once the following 3 foundational aspects are clear, the rest of your personal branding will fit together nicely. This presentation will outline the 3 most important things that need to be crystal clear in order for your personal branding to be strong and successful. 1. First, you need to define your target audience. When asked who your target audience is, your response should not be, "Oh, we're not being too specific." It is applicable to as many people as possible. You should understand your audience as if it can be boiled down to one specific image of a person. You need to know them specifically to ensure that they will relate to your content and view you as a credible and trustworthy source of information. In order to attract your audience, you must not be afraid to turn other people away. 2. Second, you need to define what you can do for your target audience. Now that you know who your target demographic is, you need to narrow down what you're going to do for them. You need to understand them entirely and know how to target your content precisely to their needs, wants, and desires. You can have the best branding, but if it does not appeal to your audience, what's the point? This also means analyzing the media that your audience uses and targeting them to specifically using that in ways that they will understand and listen. Put your branding in front of your audience in such a way that they cannot resist engaging with you. 3. Have a clear message. You need to be clear about what your personal branding is and what it stands for. What is the overall message you want to convey, and why should your audience care about it? To help with this, refine and narrow down a simple version of your overall brand message to 25 words or less. What's more, do not sugarcoat it. What people want most in the world is to be told the truth. Now that you have your target audience, your goals, and your message, keep it in your mind. It can help to write them down somewhere as a constant visual of what you want to achieve. Once you have the 3 foundations to your personal branding, you can progress with the rest of your branding strategy. But like with the house, the whole thing will collapse if the foundation is done wrong. These pillars are imperative to the success of all personal brands and should be revisited often. Firstly, simply to remind you why you're doing what you're doing, and secondly, to make sure your content aligns with it. The 3 things you need to check to make sure your personal branding is reaching your target audience. In order to make sure that your brand is operating efficiently, there are a few methods you can use to determine whether you need to reevaluate your strategy. One such way is by checking the data and analytics of your social media. It can be tedious to do, especially when you're just starting out, but it is essential to be able to check the effectiveness of your personal branding. This presentation will inform you about the top 3 things you should be checking to make sure that your personal branding is reaching your target audience. 1. What comes up when you search for yourself? The first thing to check is the Google search results. What comes up when you look yourself up? Is it you? Look up any business names you have, as well as your own name. It is also worth searching for relevant keywords. First, do you even show up? If not, or if you're low in the results, it means you need to work on your SEO. More on this later. If you discover embarrassing pictures from middle school, or if you are tagged in controversial posts by a family member, make sure you delete them all. You do not want your past to impact the professionalism of your personal branding. It is also important to do this in incognito mode and after clearing search history and the cache so your previous browsing behavior does not impact it. 2. Search engine optimization, SEO. Search engine optimization is something that is often neglected. It is the easiest way to improve your searchability. Search for your personal brand and see what comes up. Consumers use keywords to find the things that they are searching for. You want it to be you. Check search results from different keywords and spellings. Update your SEO to better reflect the language people may use when searching for you. Hashtags are a great way to reach people who are not already engaged with your content. Spamming hashtags will not generate an engaged or authentic audience. Strategically using hashtags, in particular, hashtags that are popular but not flooded, is essential to gaining a bigger following. There are many third-party tools that can be used to search for the popularity of different hashtags to ensure your content gets discovered. 3. Analytics. Go through the analytics of your social media accounts. Check the demographics of your audience to make sure that it aligns with the actual target audience of your personal branding. If it does not, why is that? Your personal branding needs to reach the audience that it is targeted towards. Consider adjusting the type of content, the media type you're using, and the platform you're on. You should be checking the overall analytics and then looking into each of your posts specifically. Note down which are successful and which are not. You should then try to determine why. You need to also check the level of views in comparison to the level of interactions. Do you have a high audience but low engagement? Your online reputation is everything. Your personal branding may be theoretically impeccable, but if you're not reaching your audience, then it is wasted effort. It is worth setting time aside periodically to make sure you're on track to meet your business goals and your professional branding strategies are continuing to be effective. Four easy ways to carry your brand into your everyday life and build your authenticity. In this day and age, people want the truth, and they want to interact with authentic people. There are so many scams out there. Do not let downfalls in your personal branding make you seem like one of them. By living your brand, it shows that your brand is not just some abstract concept created to make money. Behind the brand is a real person with real dreams. This presentation will share some simple and easy ways to incorporate your personal branding into your everyday life and improve your credibility. 1. You need to live your brand. Living your brand is essential. You need to embody your personal branding, so it does not come across as branding. It just seems like you. Given the sheer amount of content out there, it has become increasingly obvious who the fake brands are. Living your brand shows that you are real and authentic. It is not just a facade you put on for business purposes. 2. Dress well and appropriately. Clothing is a simple visual reflection of who you are. For this reason, your appearance does reflect on your brand. Ensuring you're well-dressed is an easy way to portray the reputable brand you're trying to be. There is a reason that, in general, people are more likely to trust someone in a business suit than a tracksuit. By taking pride in your appearance, you are taking pride in your personal branding. It shows that you care and are confident in your personal branding, and your audience will soon follow suit. No pun intended. 3. Carry business cards. While this may seem like an antiquated aspect of business cards are associated with trust and status. Just make sure the design is consistent with your online branding. Add your social media handles, website, and contact information to make it easy for people to find you on their preferred platform. A unique thing to do would be to add a QR code so clients can be taken easily to your online presence. A business card is a physical reminder of you and your personal branding. Plus, it is much easier to forget a face than it is to lose a piece of paper. 4. Networking is key. Surround yourself with people who are similar to you, whether they have the same goals or lifestyle. By surrounding yourself with similar, like-minded, and equally authentic people, you are creating a network of contacts. Not only are you able to leverage new and exciting opportunities, You can also help and be helped by others. Other brands may be able to feature you and share your personal branding with their following, expanding your audience too. Your audience wants to believe that your life is achievable, so by networking with equally ambitious and qualified people, your personal branding becomes more credible and trustworthy. After all, celebrities usually end up friends with each other. To conclude, we have all been bombarded by websites that want us to prove that we are human by correctly identifying traffic lights. Your personal branding also needs to show that you are not a robot. Living your brand is the easiest way to show this. Carrying your personal branding into your everyday life is the easiest way to add consistency to your brand. Your personal branding is, in effect, your public image, which means it should be present in your everyday life too. The 3 simple things to incorporate into your personal branding. Personal branding and business planning can seem like really complicated endeavors to undertake, and truthfully, they can be. But that tends to occur when you neglect the essential groundwork. Skipping simple steps in the beginning can harm your personal branding and put you behind. It is important to remedy these mistakes as soon as you realize there are better ways to do things. This brief presentation will outline 3 simple yet important elements that need to be incorporated into your personal branding strategy immediately in order to level up your personal branding strategies and foster the growth of an engaged audience. 1. A clear message. You need to be clear and concise about what you want your personal branding to convey. If you seem conflicted about your message, your audience will be too. Do not try and overcomplicate it. A simple, clear message will yield better results than one that tries to tackle too much. To make sure you've nailed this step, it can be a good idea to really narrow down your branding to something very specific. Perhaps a list of keywords and concepts will help you visualize exactly what you want to achieve. Then, as you enact your business plans, go back to this list often. It will help you recenter yourself and really carve out your personal branding strategy. 2. Personality. Basically, your personal branding just needs to show that you're a real person. If you like jokes, tell jokes, assuming that they're funny, of course. Potential clients do not want to interact with a robot. They want to engage with a real person, which is what you are. No one likes those spam accounts with generic content, so please do not be one. People would rather see you as you are than be bored by a person who's trying to be a serious business professional in a boring gray suit. Figuratively, add on a quirky tie and show some personality. 3. Authenticity. Just be real with people. It is as simple as that. Audiences want to follow content that is realistic and achievable. They want to see people they admire living an authentic life. Social media is often called a highlight reel, where creators only share the high points of their life. While this is important to do, it is also essential that your content is real and reflects the life you portray in your branding. Authenticity can be infectious, and often audiences find it. It refreshes their mind and makes them believe in the brand. It adds credibility and builds trust with your audience. Cut all the excess and the drama and just be real and authentic. Potential clients do not want to interact with a brand that comes across as fake or, for lack of a better word, photoshopped. To summarize, the most important elements of personal branding can all come down to one sentence. Do not Photoshop a personality just to make a brand seem more appealing. Just be clear and real. It's as simple as that. With personal branding, you reap what you sow. The trust and energy you put into your branding will reflect back on your audience. By incorporating a clear message, a solid personality, and authenticity into your personal branding, you are creating opportunities for yourself and adding equity to your brand. Signs that your personal branding is not working for you and how to test it. Once you've defined your personal branding strategy, it can be tempting and easy to forget about it and move on with your business. However, it is imperative that you regularly assess the effectiveness of your personal branding, and this presentation will show you how. Before we start, it is pertinent to state that analytics can be confusing at first. There's no shame in being confused and overwhelmed to begin with, especially if data is not your thing. But once you take the time to understand them, you can make analytics work for you and your personal branding. 1. The search results for your brand are incomplete or mixed. Firstly, and simply, do some searching for yourself. Use different keywords, search engines, and do not forget to clear cache so that you're getting unbiased results. If you're not one of the top results, you need to reanalyze your SEO keywords and media types. Make sure that only things that are positively connected with your branding show up. This means deleting old content and pictures that may distract from the integrity and messaging of your personal branding. 2. The level of engagement with your content is low. Within many social media platforms, you can track where people are clicking, how long they're spending on a page, where they find your sites, and whether or not they engage with your content while they are there. For example, there is an impressions feature on tweets, so you can see how many people are seeing your content and what proportion of them are interacting with it. Instagram and Facebook have similar features to track the success of your content. You want your followers to not only be seeing, but also actively engaging with your content. 3. Audience is not growing or is not growing effectively. If your follower numbers are remaining stagnant, you may have a content problem. Again, first check your interactions to see whether your followers are either seeing your content or engaging with it. A good first step is to be more active on your pages, whether it be posting more regularly or in different places or at different times of day, or more simply interacting with your followers more. Your target audience and followers are specific to your personal branding, so make sure that the content you are sharing speaks to them and gives them reason to speak to you. Using or reevaluating the hashtags you use is a good way to reach a wider audience, and you should check the popularity of different hashtags too. 4. Use the data you have just collected and change your strategy. Now that you have all this data, change your approach to close some of the gaps and run a campaign. The only way to check if your content is successfully reaching your audience and growing it is to run a new content campaign. You also need to effectively monitor its progress while taking into account the changes you made to your media use and your branding. The results may not be instant, but it is important to chart the relative success of different personal branding strategies. Did this make a difference? If it did, congratulations! You have successfully created an effective personal brand. Keep monitoring the data and stay ahead of the curve. If not, you may need to reevaluate your personal branding strategy. There is not a quick fix, and it may take some trial and error to perfect your media use. The 5 secrets to using social media for your brand. This presentation will let you in on 5 little-known secrets that will help you utilize social media effectively for your personal branding. Social media is one of the best and easiest tools to use, so make sure you're maximizing the potential of your personal branding with these simple fixes. 1. Make sure your audience can see you. You should have the best personal branding in the world, but if your target audience cannot find it, there's no point. An easy way to check whether your social media is reaching the right people is to check the analytical breakdown of your followers and make sure it matches your target demographic. Additionally, you want your personal branding to be recognizable, which means it needs to be cohesive across platforms. 2. Total engagement is more important than total followers. This is a classic case of quality over quantity. Having fewer active and engaged followers is better and more useful than having many followers who ignore your content. It is not just about having active followers. A huge mistake that many brands make is not interacting with your audience. Reply and interact with any comments, questions, or shares your posts receive. This immediately makes your personal branding more personable, accessible, relatable, and more credible, all of which are essential goals of branding strategy. 3. Do not overlook websites such as LinkedIn. Social media is not just about reaching potential customers and clients. It's also about building a network of people. Websites like LinkedIn can be useful in finding collaboration, mentoring, or opportunities that are not otherwise found. It is also worth setting up profiles on many different social media sites, even if they are not a primary area for you, just so that you have the correct usernames in case you ever change platforms. Just make sure you provide contact information and links to where you're more available. 4. Making sure your social media pages are connected and you're connected to them. Your clients need to be able to easily navigate from one page to another. Given how easy the internet has made things, people are often unwilling to put in the extra effort. They're more likely to just close the tab. This means that you need to ensure your website is up to date and mobile optimized, and your social media pages are connected. An easy way to do this on Instagram is to add a link tree to your bio that has a simple and complied list of everything anyone might need. Installing a contact page or section of a website is a great way to show that you are active and care about your clients. Of course, make sure you reply promptly. Plus, remember that social media pages such as Facebook show how responsive you are to messages. You want your brand to be seen as reliable, which means you need to be available to respond to any queries. 5. Search engine optimization is your best friend. Use it. While it can sound complicated, using search engine optimization is the best way to improve your social media traffic. It can be hard to get your head around at first, but taking the time to understand and then utilize SEO is an almost foolproof way to make your personal branding seen. By taking action in these 5 areas, you are unlocking potential and adding value to your personal branding. Remember, connect with your audience and they will connect with you.